kinship, Anne was making very public and dangerous allegories of her own. It was the story of Queen Esther and her triumph over King Ahasuerus's wicked adviser Haman, which was evoked by Anne's almoner, John Skipp, in his Passion Sunday sermon of 1536. It was a bold and dangerous move, played before king and court, and it laid bare the increasingly fraught relationship between Anne Boleyn, Esther, and Henry VIII's chief adviser, Thomas Cromwell, Haman. It was not the Queen who triumphed in Anne's case, for she wasn't married to a gentle king like Ahasuerus. A thundering storm of speculation, hearsay, and misinformation about Anne Boleyn's downfall has rolled about her empty throne since the brief, bloody days that marked the end of her life. Henry VIII's frenzied efforts to wipe all memory of his wife from earth were, mercifully, only partly successful. What we are left with, however, is a body of evidence reminiscent of partial, damaged fragments of a once complete set of tapestries. Many fine efforts have been made in the past to meddle in Anne's cause and make sense of these often incomplete and, at times, embellished sources. Efforts that have resulted in a kaleidoscope of conflicting theories as to why Anne Boleyn fell. This exceptional scholarly study of Anne Boleyn's final year forensically and fearlessly challenges many of the conclusions that have been previously made. No footnote has been left unchecked, and no source has been left unscrutinized. By removing the many patches of misinformation, and by washing clean the accumulation of myth, the true horror of Anne's downfall is presented to us in the most lucid and compelling account to date. We will never be able to recover the full tapestry of Anne Boleyn's wife, but Natalie Grueninger has presented us with what is undoubtedly the most cogent and vivid picture of why her life was taken. It is an extraordinary achievement, and it does Anne justice. Dr. Owen Emerson, historian and assistant curator, Hever Castle. Prologue. On the morning of Friday, the 19th of May, 1536, a large crowd of Englishmen and women filed into the Tower of London to witness an event never before seen in the country, the execution of an anointed Queen of England. The star of this macabre show was Anne Boleyn, the woman King Henry VIII had ardently pursued for 7 years and turned his world upside down to marry. Anne had been tried by a jury of her peers and, despite her eloquent defence, found guilty of adultery, incest, and conspiring the king's death. Her 5 alleged lovers and co-conspirators, consisting of her younger brother George, Viscount Rochford, Sir Henry Norris, the king's groom of the stool, Sir Francis Weston and Sir William Brereton, both gentlemen of the Privy Chamber, and the court musician Mark Smeaton, had been dispatched by an axeman in a public display of the king's supposed justice at nearby Tower Hill 2 days earlier. Anne's sentence, however, was to be carried out within the confines of the Tower, far from the prying eyes of any foreigners who might be touched by the plight of the fallen Queen and spread favourable reports of her final moments across Europe. The onlookers, many of whom may also have witnessed the bloodbath on Tower Hill, gathered around a newly erected scaffold, draped in black, which stood on the north side of William the Conqueror's White Tower. Among the spectators were men Anne knew well: Thomas Audley, the Lord Chancellor, 16-year-old Henry Fitzroy, the Duke of Richmond and Somerset, and the King's illegitimate son, and Charles Brandon, the Duke of Suffolk,